Hey guys, so I do have a share for you today. This is actually a scrapbook album I've been working on for quite a while now. I usually don't get a chance to scrap just because it's kind of in the back of my mind, but I do take a lot of pictures, and this is a trip that my husband and I took in 2013 in the fall. And we went to the Pacific Northwest. So we flew into Seattle, Washington. We drove from Seattle the same day up to Port Angeles, Washington, which is, if you guys are familiar with the Twilight movies or if you live in that area, it's actually near that town, but it's on the coast. And you take the ferry from Port Angeles to Victoria, British Columbia, which is where our first destination was. So you take the ferry across the water to the island. We stayed on Victoria for a few days and did some touring there. Then we took another ferry from Victoria to Vancouver, British Columbia. Took another ferry across, and then we drove from Vancouver down to the Seattle area. I have a friend that lives in Redmond with her husband and 2 kids. She only had 1 when we actually visited. She has 2 now. So this is a scrapbook album for that first part of the trip, which is actually to Victoria. I'm still working on the Vancouver pictures, and then I'll work on the Seattle pictures. So I figured since I finished the first album, which I'm going to call finished because it's not full, but it is all the pictures from Victoria. So I'm going to split them up by, you know, because we have a number of pictures and I didn't want to fill it all the way. So, or, you know, too full. And if you look at the, you can see how much is in there. It's quite heavy though, because I have the ephemera that I collect along the way in the book. And just so you know, I scrap kind of like hybrid. I use the Project Life inserts, as well as I still do 12 by 12 if I feel like there's a picture in there that I want to make a lot bigger. And you know, I will do that in a 12 by 12 layout. But all of these are going to be the pocket style. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the binder to show it a little bit better, and so you can see the whole page. And you'll notice that I'm not over the top with all my stuff because my perspective is from the photography perspective, so I like to take pictures of places, not necessarily people, though you'll see my husband in a number of the pictures. You won't see me because I'm the one taking all the pictures typically. And I'm not interested in seeing what I look like in a place. I'm really more interested in remembering where I've been. So you will see a lot of this is from the Heidi Swap Project Life kits. And this is the first place that we visited, which was Port Angeles. We're waiting on the ferry to go across to Victoria. And it's not a long ride, but you really do get to enjoy the scenery while you're waiting. And you'll notice that I put sticky notes over my husband's face just because, you know, I want to protect his privacy. This is a statue that was on the street, and you could see his hand there grabbing the butt. And these are some same statues, but there was a yarn shop right here on the street, and this woman does fantastic. She had a huge doily hanging on the wall. Huge. When I say huge, I mean it covered the entire wall of the shop when you walked in, and it was beautiful. But she sold yarn in her shop. So that's why these statues out here are dressed in clothes that are either crocheted or knitted. So we just thought that was neat, and from the crafting perspective I had to take a picture of that, of course. So hopefully this video isn't a really long one, but some people had asked some time ago when they found out that I had gone to Carla's house to crop to show my albums when they were finished. So I'm gonna call this done. And you'll notice too that I use my typewriter, and that's the reason I bought it. I use my typewriter to to actually type some of the inserts in here. And if you're wondering, like some of these pictures here that I've taken, like this one here, and this one here, the pictures look like they're out of a mini, I don't know, a mini scene, is how I should describe it. And it's using the lens that I have. I have a special lens for my Canon that is made by Lens Baby, is the brand, and it takes a slice of the picture and makes it look like from that perspective that it's a miniature scene. So you'll see some pictures that are like that. And I've used some of the acetate pieces too to kind of help enhance some of the pictures. I'm not a great photographer, I don't think. I like to take pictures. So I do. And that's really, I like to travel also. That's really what got me into scrapbooking in the first place, is my really interest in going places and taking pictures. Now, I did reverse this picture instead of putting a sticky note in there. There's a picture of my husband in there. So this is now on the boat. We've left and we're going to Victoria. You can see one of the ferries there. And of course you load your car onto the ferry and it's parked in the below decks. And then you're able to walk around the ship until you get to your destination. And they ask you to get back into your car so that you can unload the ship. So you're seeing a lot of the houses along the way, beautiful scenery. And while we were on this trip, we actually could see some orcas, which are killer whales, playing in the bay here. Beautiful houses, scenery. Again, here's one of those pictures I took with that lens that makes the scenery look just miniature. And you're going to see that throughout my books because I just love that lens. I just think it's a really cool thing. And I have other lenses too, you know, like there's a fisheye lens that they make. But yeah. So as I said, it's not like over the top, you know, in terms of like scrapbooking. You know, some people have different styles, just like with crafting, you know. I figured I would just share. Okay, so this is our trip to the Bouchard Gardens in British Columbia, in Victoria. And their gardens are really pretty. So this is one of those Project Life envelope packets that you can get. And so I put the map in here, and there's a flower and plant guide. And you can open that. And then, so here's our side of Victoria from the boat. And then we went to the Bouchard Gardens the next day. And the gardens are really pretty. I recommend, if you guys ever have a chance to visit, you do go, because look at these pictures. This is the entrance to the gardens, but look at these flowers. And this is, you know, this is just one part of the gardens. So we spent probably half the day there, and then the rest of it was spent in the butterfly garden, which is a separate place, but it's very close by. You have to be able to drive to it though, because it's not near the downtown area of Victoria. My husband's standing there, so hence the sticky note. And then there's like a big chess game at the entrance of the gardens. This is a really big piece. This probably comes up almost to my hips. I'm not a tall person though. And you can see him, he's standing in there where his legs are. So he was standing on the chessboard. And then more pictures of the gardens. And then there's like a elephant tea party up there made out of bushes. And you can see the bee here on the wall. These are really pretty. So, and these are really huge. These are probably bigger than my head. It doesn't look like it in the picture, but they're bigger than my head. And the weather was great. I don't think we had any rain while we were there. It was late August, early September, and you can see sunflowers. And I definitely don't know all the names of flowers. I'm sure that Carla, if she's watching, she could probably tell me what they all were, since she knows lots of varieties of flowers, having the experience of a florist. So this is some totem that I took pictures of in the park. And that's, I guess, like a raccoon is that part. And they have some really pretty trees. I hope I'm showing this okay to you and that you guys can get an idea of the book. I could flip through it, but then you wouldn't see the whole page, so I figured taking it out might be the best thing to do. And you'll notice that I also, I don't care that all the pages aren't the same size. I like the fact that I can vary the different layouts by the different sizes of the pockets that are here. And you can see that I don't always use ephemera on the page, and that's on purpose. I like that it doesn't detract from the actual photos that I have, so that's another reason for that. And this is a rub-on here where it says Journey in Japanese Garden. These are so pretty. I think these look like Fruity Pebbles. What do you guys think? But the flowers are just beautiful. And you know, normally when you're in a garden, it's really hot. It was hot, I think, but not, you know, definitely not what I'm used to in terms of heat. This is really pretty. I think this is a hydrangea, but if you look closer, the hydrangea has like, the edges are scalloped, which is unusual. Normally they're not scalloped like that. At least the variety we have. And I think that's cyclamen is what they call it. This is really neat because you're going downhill here, and there's water all along the way, or along the pathway. Here we go. Some bushes, trees, and some cranes made out of like cement. They're statues. And then you get this shoreline, which is also part of the gardens. Now, we did go to the butterfly gardens, which was really also very cool. I love butterflies, and so this was indoors, so you were not, you know, you weren't outside the whole time, but it was very steamy in there because of the butterflies. And this is another ephemera pack that I chose to store the map and stuff of the butterfly gardens in it. And so there's lots of butterfly pictures. So this way, and you know, doing the Project Life pockets allows you to take a lot of smaller images, smaller pictures, and you know, put a lot in at one time. So you'll notice this layout has a lot of the smaller pieces. You know, there's a cocoon right here, and that cocoon is probably like 1.5 inches long, maybe 2 inches. But then they have, I think that's actually a butterfly from the Philippines. I was looking at the brochure earlier, but they have lots of different colorful butterflies in there, and that's plumeria, but you'll notice there's a butterfly on it, and then there's a blue one here, and then a yellow one here. So they do have a lot of things crawling around too. There are birds in here, and there are frogs as well as flamingos, and they have a koi pond inside. This is a really big butterfly. I have better pictures of that later on, as well as this one. This one's really big. Like I said, I would really recommend, if you are ever in Victoria, you go to this place. There's the flamingos. And you can get pretty close to them. Although they are in the water, you can't get in the water with them. Some really pretty flowers. I really like this picture. So, and actually this one has a one of those Heidi Swap things in here. The camera, if you pull this little tag up here, it opens up, and you'll notice what I did was put a picture of a bird that I took inside the lens, and then it just closes up by you pushing it back the other direction. And they do have all these cocoons lined up to hatch out the butterflies, and you can see what kind are coming out. And then over here as well, those are all cocoons. Some of them are already hatched out, so like this one's right here. Now, this picture right here shows you how big this butterfly really is. And my husband's head is right here, so it's huge. This one fell out. That's the only thing I guess about these top loading ones that I don't like, is they can fall out. I have to turn this around. Sorry guys. Stuck on the ephemera. I'll fix it later. Okay, so they do have lizards, and they do have turtles having fun. Can you see that? Yep. And there was a parrot, and he was just, the only thing that was keeping him from biting you is you staying away from him, because you could walk right up to him, and there was a sign that said he bites, so keep your fingers to yourself. But he was really cute. He just sat there the whole time. And I think he did talk for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna have to make this video split. Okay, now there's a good story here. This is my leg. This bird came up to me and he did this little pecking thing. He was arranging my pant leg for a good 15 minutes. And then he stopped and went over to my husband and did the same thing. Very friendly bird. It didn't hurt. He was just like pecking at it like he was arranging the pant leg the way he wanted it to be arranged. And then these are some flowers that are inside of this garden area. So yeah, this is our trip to Victoria. Whenever I finish the Vancouver album, I will show that and share it with you all. This is this last page here is just a 12 by 12 envelope from Project Life that has more ephemera in it. And what I did was stick a card in here, typed up some of the memories, my fond memories of the trip to Victoria that I wanted to remember. And that is my share for now. Thanks for watching. Bye now.